and welcome to the Evenweave channel. Now this is going to be the first non-short video that we do, and I wanted this to be a little bit of an update of what and where we're up to for the Evenweave series book saga. So as you can see here, this is the world of Targost at this point. Now what I want to show you today, we will go into all of this in detail and explore a lot further. Now this is just one of the tools I use to manage all the information I have for this saga. So we can see here on the right hand side the books that are currently being written or have been written for the saga, not yet published. So we're just going to click into here on the Evenweave Saga book section. Now what we can see is, and I want to point your attention to, is the list of books in the center. So we have book 1, book 2, part 1 and part 2. We have book 3, book 4, book 5 and book 6. Now what I want to really highlight here is that all parts or all 6 books for the Evenweave Saga are completely and fully written, and that's before the point of publishing of book 1. So the entire story for the Evenweave Saga, the full 6 books, is written, planned out and done. And in fact we've even done many drafts of this so far, but I've done full 3 drafts of the manuscripts being put together in order. So we've even done the first line edit for book 1. Developmental edit for book 1. So we're beginning to do the line edit now. So it won't be long until a couple more edits on that, and then we can get the first book published. But what I want to show you is important is that the full 6 books are fully written and completed, which means as soon as you begin to read book 1, you know 100% that the other 6 books are coming and not in too long an order. So you're not going to be waiting, 5-10 years for the last book to come out, or even the next book. It's all written and done. The stories are fully planned and worked and materialized. So there is an end to this saga, so you can really start now knowing that the whole thing is there ready and waiting for you. It's just a case of final editings for each books, and then publishing, getting the drawings and the covers and things like that done. So as soon as book 1 is out, you will then start developmental and line editing book 2. So the turnaround process shouldn't be too long, but obviously I don't want to rush them and put them all out at the same time. We are going to wait a little bit of time to get them out to make sure they're ready. But like I say, you're not waiting for it to be written, which I think is a very good point to make when you are starting a new series, as that's not very often the case. Now the next thing I want to show you is the size of the books themselves. Now it's not a huge series, it's not the world's largest series, it's definitely not as big as, for example, let's say Game of Thrones. However, it's still not a small series in scale. So each book itself, I've got the word count for you here. We can see book 1 is 137,159 words at this time. Now that may grow a little, but book 1 is pretty much set in stone now, apart from the line edits. It may change, likely go up if anything, as opposed to down. But we can see in total the entire series is around 800,000 words, if not a bit more. And so what that means is it's not a massive series. It's not, like I say, it's not the scale of the size of Game of Thrones. However, it's not small either. So there's enough content and size in there to make sure all the characters and locations are fully developed and realized. So that'll really get you immersed into the world of Targost and the Evenweave series to begin with, because I didn't want, if it was any larger than this, if we were looking at any larger book series, let's be honest, it wouldn't have been written for another few years. So the whole game of this process, the whole aim of it was to make sure I get that the 6 books of Evenweave done, written and ready by the first time the first one gets published. Because I want the reader to have that full story there at their fingertips, to be ready to dive into it at their kind of leisure, really, rather than having to wait for it. So if it was any larger, that wouldn't have been possible. But if it was any smaller, you wouldn't be able to get that full immersive context. So it's a middle ground word count, but I really, that's what I set my standards to when I began to write. That was the focus of it, and that was kind of what I stuck to as we went. But what I do want to share with you is there is a character list. Now, for the middle 4 books, I've got a character list of books kind of 2 to 5. Now, there's over 280 characters in there already. Now, obviously, some do cross over from book 1 and 6. But just to give you an idea of scale of characters, there's 280 plus characters in this book. Some are minor characters, of course, named characters, but and some are major characters with a lot larger roles. But quite a lot of them have been fleshed out, have quite pivotal roles within the story. So again, that shows you, there's a lot of information and depth to this saga. The other thing I want to show you is, because of the size of it, again, it's ready written now, and it's not a huge humongous scale, but it's still a very large scaled series. It allows me to then look at further series within the world of Targos. Now, if we click on here, we can see I've already started writing quite a lot of the Codex Runarium, which is the Rune Priests prequel or origin stories. Now, that is another saga, and that is going to be at least another 6 to 7 books on the first half of that. There's 2 halves to that. So again, and I actually think that will end up being larger than the Evenweave cycle. So yes, the Evenweave saga itself is there, and it's again up to that 800,000 word count, but the world itself is already a lot larger than that, and we're going to expand on that further with further series. So there's still a lot more to come. So it's not like that is it, it's done and dusted. It's really still just the tip of the iceberg. I see the Evenweave Saga as an entry point to this world of Targos, and really just giving you a taster, but at the same time, it's a well-rounded story that's fully immersive and complete. We also have the Untitled Greyland Saga. Now, this is a story about the 14 families just before what happens in the Evenweave Saga time period. Now, I have started writing this. I'm not going to show you that, but that is going to be an extremely large book series. I've not decided how big yet, but it's going to be a big one, so that might take some time to write. And I've also fully planned, I've not started writing it, but I've fully planned it out chapter by chapter, a book which will take place here on the Zarathane continent, which does tie into the main Evenweave Saga. And if I zoom out, you can see there is already plans for more continents as well. And just to give you an idea of scale of this, if we go to, for example, the land of London, the realm of London, this is all the different locations within London that are mentioned and also visited just in the Evenweave Saga. So we have, for example, the capital Shields here. It's a very prominent location. We have all the characters and locations and events, and there's a lot more to this as well. This is just a fraction of what I've got stored, but that gives you an idea of just exactly what level of detail we're looking at. So if I go into, again, Twilight, each one of these is the same. So these are all the different locations in Twilight that we're looking at within the series. Again, if we go into the mega city of Twilight, which is again a prominent part of the story, you'll notice here again the sigils of Twilight that are in the short videos. We have some of the characters, some engineering diagrams for the city itself, and then some of the events that transpire and the characters. So there's a lot to unpack, and what I want this channel to be as well is a dive into this world. So you can, we'll look at every individual place and character in detail with its own individual video over the years of being in this channel. But yes, I just wanted to give you an update of where we're up to. So I want you to see that it's a fully realized concept. It is completely, for the Evenweave cycle, it is completely written and ready to go. We are just literally doing the development, the line editing for book 1, so it shouldn't be too long before it's out. So keep up with those videos, use the channel to deep dive into the lore to get yourself ready, and watch out for that update on the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.